In over a decade and a half working as a personal trainer, my greatest success was with a woman named Rachel. And I'll always remember Rachel because she had a spectacular smile and a great sense of humor, and we hit it off immediately. But when I sat her down to talk about her fitness goals, I quickly realized that underneath, Rachel really wasn't that happy. She'd gained a lot of weight over the years, and she didn't like the way she looked, she didn't like the way she felt. But I gave Rachel 3 things to do, and I said, if you do these 3 things, you can lose the weight you want to lose. Fast forward, and it's 1 year later, and Rachel lost over 80 pounds, and she looked and felt better than she had in years. My goal for my speech today is to give you that same information that I gave Rachel. So maybe you're somebody who feels like you need to lose a little weight, and you've tried in the past, and maybe you've even seen a little bit of success. The information I'm going to give you is going to help make sure that you continue to see success. Maybe you're somebody who's never tried to lose weight before and you feel like you need to lose a few pounds. The information I'm going to give you is very simple and easy to apply, so that's going to help you as well. I've been working as a personal trainer for over 15 years, so I know what works. I've worked with a lot of different people, and I've seen the way in which some people are successful and others are not, and it all comes down to these 3 things I'm going to tell you about. And these things are not anything crazy, it's not any kind of snake oil or anything, no magic tricks, it's all very simple. And in fact, if you go to reputable websites like the American Heart Association, you can go to www.heart.org, and you look at the information there on weight loss. It's going to be the same kind of things I'm telling you, but I'm going to emphasize a few things that it might be easy to gloss over if you're just reading the information online. So what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about taking control of your caloric intake, taking control of your sugar intake, and taking control of your activity levels. Let's start with taking control of calories. So it should come as a surprise to none of us that a lot of the reason that we're overweight is we're just eating too many calories. But a lot of people don't know, like, what does 500 calories look like? What does 1,000 calories look like? What should my caloric goal be? Well, to illustrate this, we can take something like a bag of Cheetos, right? We can look at this, which any of us could very easily eat all of these. And we can compare that to this huge salad, which includes, I got chicken breast, I got one of these like salad things that comes with a dressing and all that, and an entire tub of spinach. And that salad, which none of us, I don't think, could eat in one sitting, is actually less calories than the Cheetos. So it's not always intuitively obvious. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to start looking at labels. Labels will always have the amount of calories that the food has in it. And we can use online fitness applications. These online applications are wonderful. You can get it on your phone or on your tablet or whatever, and they'll tell you the nutritional information of anything you want to know about. So here's what our strategy is. We're going to track for 1 week everything we eat for the whole day, and we're going to total our caloric intake for the day. Okay? And then we're going to figure out what it is on average at the end of the week. So maybe it's 2,500 calories. The following week, we're going to cut 200 calories per day. So your goal for the next week will be to try to only eat 2,300 calories per day. At the end of that week, you're going to weigh yourself. Did you lose weight? If you lost weight, fantastic. 2,300 calories is your goal going forward. If you didn't lose weight, you're going to cut another 200 calories. So the next week, your goal would be 2,100 calories. And you'll just keep repeating that until you see the scale start to go in the right direction. Something you want to be careful of is to not cut too many calories at once. Some people say, oh, well, cutting 200 calories is good. Cutting 500 calories must be wonderful, and that's not the case. Cutting too many calories at once is what causes yo-yo dieting, and we want to avoid that. We also want to avoid our metabolism tanking, because that'll actually cause us to lose even less weight. Moving on to sugar intake, we need to take control of sugar intake. That's our second thing. The calorie thing people kind of get, but the sugar thing isn't as intuitively obvious. I'm going to show you why for this too. This Monster Energy drink, which is very delicious, is a 108 gram of sugar total. That is more grams of sugar than these 3 apples combined. So just like with our salad example, it would be very hard for someone to sit down and just gobble down 3 apples. Probably no one's going to do that, but it's very easy to drink one of those energy drinks. Okay, so what are we looking at when we're looking at sugar content? Again, we're going to look at our labels, or we're going to use our fitness application. Okay, and we're going to look on there, we're going to look at the grams of sugar. Okay, so we're going to first look at the grams of sugar, and the first question is, does this thing that I'm about to eat have more than 10 grams of sugar? If the answer is no, go for it. As long as you're staying within your caloric limit that we discussed first, if it has less than 10 grams of sugar, go for it. Go ahead and eat it. Now, if it does have more than 10 grams of sugar, second thing you need to look at is fiber content. Okay? And what you're going to look at is, does it have more than 3 grams of fiber? If it has more than 3 grams of fiber, you're good to go. You can eat it. If it doesn't, you can't eat it. And we're not going to get into the details of why fiber helps us digest and process sugar differently, but things that are high in fiber tend to not cause us to gain weight as much as things that are not. So unfortunately, a lot of really delicious things like cake and ice cream are very low in fiber, so those are not going to be on our list of stuff we can eat. So we're going to monitor the sugar intake, and then we're also looking at fiber, so make sure you're tracking both those things in order to take control of our sugar intake. All right, let's move on to our third thing. We're going to talk about controlling our activity levels. Okay? When it comes to activity, our goal is going to be 30 minutes per day. And this can be any kind of moderate exercise. It doesn't have to be going to the gym. In fact, I tell people, don't try to do activities that you don't like, because you're not going to stick with it. You're just going to make yourself miserable. It can be anything you like to do. It could be riding your bike, playing with your kids, walking your dog. And all these little activities add up. If you hit the goal of 30 minutes per day, then in the course of a week, you can burn the same amount of fat as this butter. You're not going to see it happen all at once because it happens very slowly, but when you add it all up, it's this much, and when you see it all together, that's when you realize it's kind of a lot. So the activity level is very important. But I'm going to give you an important warning here, and this is the biggest mistake that I see people make that I work with. I want you to remember that you cannot out-train bad nutrition. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. You cannot out-train bad nutrition. What happens with a lot of people, they get into the working out thing, they're doing the CrossFit, doing the yoga, whatever it is, and that's fantastic, but then they start bargaining. They're like, well, I know I'm not supposed to eat these potato chips, but I'll just eat the potato chips and then I'll just go to the gym tomorrow. Well, unfortunately, that doesn't tend to work. It's very easy to overeat. Any of us can eat, that bag of Cheetos or a pint of Ben & Jerry's or whatever it is. That's not hard to do. But if we consume 1,000 calories of junk food, it's going to take us 4 to 5 extra workouts. That's beyond the activity you're already doing. 4 or 5 extra workouts just to burn off that, container of ice cream that you ate. And it doesn't work. So you cannot out-train bad nutrition, and we're not even going to try. Okay, let's get to our summary. What did we talk about? We talked about controlling calories, talked about controlling sugar intake, and thirdly, controlling our activity level. I remember my final meeting with Rachel. It was our last workout. It had been about a year, and she looked fantastic. She lost a ton of weight. She looked and felt better than she had in years. And she said to me, I haven't felt this good since I was in high school. It was very dramatic, but you can get those same results if you just stick to the 3 rules. But I'm going to leave you with something that I want you to remember if you remember nothing else that I've told you today. If you do not choose to take control of your diet and exercise, then I promise you that your lack of diet and exercise will control you. Thank you.